A lot of times I like to walk the ridge here. I still look out here after 30 years and go, wow. I mean, you just can't take that away. So we're building the Transcontinental. As you can see the track as it comes down. So
wow.
1866, 1867 is when they were actually coming through this area here. And Buford was the end of track. Just right up the tracks here is the highest point on the Transcontinental Railroad. And that used to be the town of Sherman. And if you do any history on Union Pacific Railroad, Sherman was a big deal for the railroad. They had to actually build 25, I think it was, special engines to pull the trains up this hill. So when you leave Cheyenne, you're at 6,000 feet. When you get to the summit, they were at 9,000 feet. So 3,000 feet in a matter of 40 miles, you know. Just to walk up and down this fence line, and as I look out here, I just try to imagine the activity that was going on down there. The second year that I lived here, I found an old snowcat. And if you ever saw Jack Nicholson's movie The Shining,
yes.
and old Scatman Crothers was coming up to the hotel in that cat, I had one just like that. And people would see me chugging along the road up there.
There's a madman.
And it was painted bright fluorescent like orange.
So they could find you.
So you could see it in the white.
I bet your son has never been able to say, this is impossible or I can't do this, because nothing stops you.
Yeah, well, if you want to get out of the rut you're in, you'll find a way.
That's right.
You know, excuses don't get you anywhere. They really don't. You can sit there and say whatever you want to say, but until you start doing something about it, it ain't going to change. That's one of the reasons that I decided to sell Buford, because I was kind of keeping it for my son. His passion is art, you know, and not being a clerk. So when I really decided that, you know, if you're saving it, you're not saving it for him. So that's when I decided to call you guys.
We're glad. Almost overnight, the number of media outlets interested in Buford had risen to more than 500, and with press coverage on Buford doubling to 2,000 articles.
Out of all of the countries, out of all of the inquiries, the emails that I got, to have 5 doesn't sound like much.
Don was trying to come to grips with the number of people who talked about, wrote about, and fantasized about living in Buford versus the number who might actually have the cash, the courage, and the commitment to really do it.
There's a lot of people that love the lifestyle that somebody else is living, but they wouldn't want to do that, or they don't feel that they could do that. But yet they want to respond in some way. People just wishing me well, even though they said, well, we don't have the money, but, you know, it's a beautiful dream. And I guess the bottom line is that, you know, I mean, it just takes, I guess, 2 people you got to bid. Depends on how bad they want it. Tomorrow, there could be 100 people out there wanting to bid on this place.
It's going to be very interesting tomorrow to see who can move from the dream in their head to the reality of owning and living it.
Yeah,
you're asking somebody to pick up a dream.
You only find one of these. Still hasn't sunk in. Nothing inside of me has really changed. Yeah, right now, I mean, it's just this is home and this is normal and natural.
And so what is your next big venture?
Well, I want to write a book.
Great.
About Buford and my 30 years here.
Well, the world knows about it now. 84 countries, 300 media outlets, people from all over the world are interested. So that's the beauty of auction. Tomorrow we'll see what the market bears. It's going to be very exciting.
It's going to be very exciting.
So what would you say to the new owner tomorrow?
I've had some people come into Buford, they'll come in the front door and go, how can anyone live in this place? You know, there's nothing here. And it's like, isn't it beautiful? And those people just don't see it. If you're looking for a lifestyle that you couldn't imagine, you just found it. If you can appreciate that lifestyle, you will have a wonderful life.
The person who runs this, the person who stays here and conducts the business, is a neighbor. And that's real important to all of us who live around here locally, how that person will be as a neighbor and how they treat those of us who already live here.
It's important to meet the new owners and welcome them to our community and offer to help them in any way that we can also.
It's going to be a nice operation for a young family, maybe. One thing for sure, if a young family does buy it, the population will double overnight.
This is part of the history of Buford that we're going to see right here.
We're real curious to see who's interested and who actually ends up with it.